Today we're going to be painting lavender in this big square terracotta container by the door over here. This is one of the special flowers that my collector asked me to include. This I'm using a mixture of, again, my dioxazine purple, which is what I used on the wisteria, and I've added just a touch of magenta into it to give it a little extra warmth to bring it forward of the wisteria in the background. So it just gives it a little more warmth and makes it come forward. If I used the same colors that I used in the wisteria in the background, it would the painting wouldn't have as much depth. So I'm just adding a little bit. It's not much. Just makes the color a little bit warmer and brings this lavender forward. I want this to pop up over that window sill and over the door back there, or the gate back there. That gives the feeling of depth when you have overlapping layers. Lavender is just, I love the scent of lavender. When you go to Provence during the times that the lavender is blooming, oh my goodness, it's just amazing. You can hear the bees going from blossom to blossom, just collecting that nectar. It's magical. Provence during when the lavender is blooming is just absolutely gorgeous. We even have in Texas, we even have lavender up around the Blanco and that area. They have several lavender fields you can go up. And lots of people go up and take their pictures out in the fields. And just it's a fun excursion, fun day trip from San Antonio. If you've never been to a lavender farm or seen it out in the fields, that's just a wonderful experience that hopefully you'll get to do that one day. Jack and I were very fortunate to be able to do that. So I've got the flowers blocked in. Now I'm going to come back, and this is mixtures of the phthalo blue plus cadmium orange plus white. That's really the base of a lot of my green mixtures. You can get a lot of variations from that combination depending on how much phthalo blue you put in. If you put more phthalo blue in, it's cooler. If you put more cadmium orange in the mix, it's warmer. Just depends on how much you put of each of the different colors. Now I'm coming back in with a little bit of phthalo blue plus liquid. This just gives me a cool dark in the depths of the foliage. I'm not going to put a whole lot of detail over here because I'm having red-orange hollyhocks and they'll be coming up over this area. So I'm not really concerned other than just getting the canvas covered in this section of the painting. This side we're going to show a little more detail since this will be pretty much showing. Again, you can see I can use the corner of this large square brush that's called a bright brush. I can use the corner to make little tiny brush strokes, or I can use the broad edge to cover a bigger area. It's a very versatile brush, and I prefer them. Brushes are very individual. Some people like filberts, some people like bristle brushes. I just happen to have fallen in love with the bright brushes. That's something as you paint more and more, you'll come to find what brushes work well for you. It's all individual. Jack preferred round brushes, so it's just like food, we all like different things. So that's what makes the world so interesting, is all the different things that people like. Now I'm going to go to a little smaller brush now, And just start putting some lighter leaves in. Go back in and add a little darks here and there. There will also be peonies coming up in this area too. So I want to leave a little bit of my terracotta container showing, and I'm going to come back up under here and just darken it a little bit where the plant leaves and stuff come down over the top of that container. So that would be darker there in that shadow area. A little blue back here to make that edge of the container go back. I'm going to mix a little more white into my leaf color. So I want to have some of these leaves that are going to be highlighted where the sun's hitting them. I don't want it that white. Picked up a glob of white. I don't mix my paint just completely when I make these mixtures so that I get variations in the brush strokes. Just gives interest. Jack would have said, "Oh, you're just lazy, Mickey. You just don't want to mix all that paint." And maybe he's right. But I like some of the things that happen on the canvas. Work down in between some of those blossoms. Okay. Now we're going to go back and put the little stems in. And I'm using, this is what we call a fine liner brush. Actually, these brushes are really, really old. There's some that Jack used in his sign painting days when he was in college. And I'll just tell you this, he graduated from college the year I was born. So that tells you how old these brushes are. But he worked for a sign painter that the gentleman was just wonderful, taught him how to lay gold leaf, and Jack learned all sorts of cool things from him, and the sign painter gave him just tons of these brushes. And Jack really thanked him for helping him get through college. Jack was from a very poor family, and he worked several jobs when he was in college in order to make it through. He sold shoes too, and he said what he would do is if he had several customers, he would take their shoes off to go get the sizes that they were wanting in a style, but he would stick one of the shoes in his pockets, so that the people couldn't leave if they got, if he got busy or something. He had one of their shoes, regular shoes, in his pocket, so they had to stay there until he got back to them and sold them something. And that's one of the places where he learned to become such a good salesman. So, anyhow, we've got our little stems in there. Now I'm going to add a few more lighter leaves. Now I'll add a few highlights onto my lavender blossoms. And these fragrant little flowers will be done. This is a number 6 bright brush. And I'm just coming back and adding a little bit of highlight on these, giving them a little texture. Again, we don't want to just put each and every individual petal on there, but enough to give the impression of the flowers. One of my galleries came up with a really cool term that I like. describing my paintings. And this is my gallery in Napa. And they said, oh, Mickey's paintings are romantic impressionism, which I just love. I think that's a cool term. I have some really neat galleries. They become like family. We've worked with these galleries for years, and they've just, friends, family, they're wonderful. I'm very, very fortunate as an artist. God has truly blessed me. So this is how we make our lavender. Again, these back here, I'm not going to do much to because there's going to be flowers coming in front of them. But I just want to go ahead and put a few little details here and there. Let those blossoms pop up. So when you get an opportunity, if you see somewhere that there's a lavender field or there's going to be a lavender festival somewhere, make sure and take that opportunity and go. It's just an amazing thing to go walk out into those lavender fields when they're in full bloom, and oh, the scent is just so overwhelming. It's gorgeous, and it's a wonderful, wonderful experience. There we go. There's our lavender. Thank you for following along today. I really appreciate you watching my videos. Please subscribe to my channel. You'll get a notification by email every time I post a new video. And also please visit my blog, and you can also subscribe to that. The blog address is always on the very last frame of my YouTube video. I also put it into the copy in the description below the YouTube video. So thank you for dropping by the studio today, and you have an absolutely wonderful day. Happy painting!